The great feast of Pentecost is now upon us. After 50 days of the Easter glory from the resurrection of Christ until now, we have the great feast of Pentecost, which is depicted for us magnificently. It's such a dramatic event in the Acts of the Apostles, chapter 2, written by St. Luke. The Holy Spirit comes, firstly, it's described as a mighty wind, and then as tongues of fire. Let's deal with the tongues of fire first, and then come to the mighty wind, or the breath otherwise known, because that, I think, has something very special for us in our life of prayer, our life of meditation. So the tongues of fire was St. Robert Bellarmine, born in 1542 and 1621, obviously an extremely gifted man in lots of ways, but also very mystically orientated and very spiritually orientated in his life of prayer. It was he who said, look, the tongues of fire symbolize three things. The tongues themselves symbolize eloquence. The fire of the tongue, the warmth from the fire, symbolizes love, and the light from the fire symbolizes wisdom. So that the Holy Spirit comes to each believer, every baptized believer, giving them the grace to speak with eloquence and with love and with wisdom. Bellarmine says the eloquence means we have to do some study, and I would recommend to you that we study and prayerfully work our way through the four Gospels. I think this is true that in Papua New Guinea, in year 7 of high school, you go through the Gospel of Mark. Year 8 you go through the Gospel of Matthew, Year 9 you go through the Gospel of Luke, and then Year 10 you go through the Gospel of John. Well, that'd be a great thing to do for all of us, so that we actually prayerfully consider the life of Christ. We actually know what we're talking about, and we have an eloquence because we've prepared our minds and our hearts and our feelings for the way that we want to talk. And then the warmth from the fire, symbolizing love, that yes, well, we have to speak with love, because when we speak with love, people feel accepted and they feel received. That's very important. And then speaking with wisdom. Well, that's so important, to speak with wisdom. And wisdom is that gift when we know when to speak and when not to speak. Sometimes we speak without speaking. That's very important too. But we have to speak not only with wisdom, a sort of an intellectual wisdom, that's important, but we've got to feel the wisdom. That's the way I look at wisdom. I think wisdom is thinking and feeling the way God thinks and feels. So let's be Christians who are very eloquent, speaking full of love and speaking words of wisdom. We need to speak into the heart of our people in the 21st century. People are waiting for us to speak these words of the gospel, the good news. Marvellous calling we all have, as I say, in and through our baptism. The second symbol is the mighty wind, or the breath, that evokes the whole mystery of the book of Genesis when God breathed over the waters. Apparently it was part of the custom in Jewish families, it may well still be the case in Jewish families, that at the night time you might pray Psalm 31, which is what Jesus prayed as he died. Into your hands, Lord, I commit my spirit. And so a young boy, a young Jewish boy, a young Jewish girl would say as they go to bed as part of their night prayer, Lord, into your hands I commit my spirit, my breath, my ruha, as it's pronounced. And it's taken by God, and then you let God look after you in your night's sleep, and then in the morning you breathe back in again, the breath, the ruha. So I think this is a really helpful thing for our meditation, that when we start our meditation, our prayer life, try and become conscious of your breathing in and out, and that's the natural form of breathing, but then become conscious that that breath symbolizes the unique experience we have of the Holy Spirit dwelling deeply inside of us.